5 popular designer perfumes and their niche upgrade. A lot of times we fall in love with a designer fragrance. A lot of times people call these entry-level fragrances. They're highly accessible. You go to a department store like Macy's, Nordstrom, Sephora, Winners, what have you. You try them for yourself, you fall in love with them. And if you really get into them, sometimes we crave a more exalted expression, as it were. These are 5 niche upgrades to some really popular designer/celebrity fragrances. I'm eager to share what they are with you in just a second, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I tell you about these 5 niche upgrades to some really popular designer perfumes, these are all for the ladies, although some of the niche upgrades can be seen as unisex. I want to start the video off first by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, and of course, if you love smelling your best, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me. So again, if you're looking for a more exalted olfactory expression of some of these really popular designer perfumes, and of course, there's a sea of perfumes out there waiting to be discovered, try to sample these. You can use a service like ScentSplit, which is what I often use. I think they're absolutely fantastic. This is not a sponsored video, by the way, but I'm just simply letting you know that you don't have to spend an arm and a leg, hundreds and hundreds of dollars for these niche alternatives. You can always get a sample or a decant. For example, the first one, and I bought this not when it came out, but several years later, but I really do love this one. This is Prada Candy. So a lot of florals, caramel, and I think that's what creates that candy name or designation, is the fact that, and it actually doesn't smell overly sugary, which is the ironic part here. It does have caramel in here. That creates the sweetness that you're going to get primarily, right? So there's a lot of caramel. It's very smooth, it's silky, it's floral, it's expressive, it's fun, it's playful, it's outgoing. You can actually get Minuit at Demi by Fragrance de Bois. So again, I purchased this one to support Demi rolling right when it came out. And this fragrance has that caramel vibe. It has a bit of like this brown sugar texture in it as well. You do have some fruity nuances, some floral expressions. So this one is a more complex version of Prada Candy. Not to suggest that one smells explicitly of the other, but this one is more of like, I don't even want to call it an upgrade because it's so subjective, right? But this one is like the niche counterpart to that, right? Essentially, these can be viewed as upgrades, but please, please, please try this one. I think this one is a very good fragrance. Of course, let's go ahead and talk about, let's reveal this one next. This one is interesting. I know Alien by Thierry Mugler, one of my favorites, right? I have purchased so many bottles of this throughout the years. My mother loves wearing Alien, even though she prefers Angel, but this is a beautiful indolic jasmine fragrance, right? Dominique Ropion is the perfumer. He's such an incredible master perfumer. He's done so many wonderful fragrances, and this one is truly one of the best bang for your buck, especially if you're buying it online. Do not buy it in department stores. I don't want you to waste your money. There's no need for you to pay full retail for this one. You can actually get it at department stores for a very high price. So look online, you can get it at discounters. Well, the niche upgrade to that would be Alcat by Xerjoff. Now this fragrance, again, I must caution you, very indolic smelling. Yeah, so if you are not a fan of the indolic jasmines, this is one where you have to really sample it first. If you're gonna blind buy, do not blame me. I'm sorry, do not blame me. It's a beautiful fragrance, and I know people who really love the note of jasmine say they want only an indolic jasmine, because that is an expression of a natural jasmine ingredient, and this one is just done so spectacularly well. All right, so Ariana Grande Cloud. I bought this one. I bought the 2.0. I spend a lot of money on these designer releases. This one has this vanilla dried down, this sugary cotton candy, ethyl maltol type of a vibe. Yes, people compare it to Baccarat Rouge. That could have easily been the niche upgrade that I spotlighted or featured in this video. I'm gonna go with something a bit out of the ordinary. Try Trajan by Electimus London. So this fragrance also has that sweet, and I love this atomizer as well. Let me try it again. Oh yeah, so it has this orangey opening. It has this sweet cotton candy vibe in here as well. And you can tell it does kind of go a little bit in the direction of Baccarat Rouge, but this one does it so nicely, incredibly long lasting as well. So if you want to prioritize longevity, Trajan is the way to go. Cloud, on the other hand, you're not going to get great longevity from. So this next one of the best patchouli rose fragrances. I always talk about Patchouli Rose. Noir de Noir by Tom Ford is fantastic. Also, Narciso Rodriguez for her is one of my favorites. And I think it's called the Musk Noir variation. But this next fragrance, Coco Mademoiselle by Chanel, this one gets a lot of play, and for good reason. It's a phenomenal fragrance. It's so distinguished. It's so classy. It's ideal for a formal scenario. If you're looking for something with tantamount longevity, if not better longevity, you want to check out Darcy by Parfum de Marly. Darcy, for whatever reason, always gets compliments. If I smell it on a woman, which I've never smelled it on a woman in public, but I would feel compelled to give her a compliment. I smell it every time I go to the boutique, whether they have an event, but even though I have it in my personal collection, I do wear it from time to time. And this is such a beautiful fragrance. Yes, it does come very close to Coco Mademoiselle, but Darcy has that niche expressive quality about it that I really enjoy. So for the number one spot, I specifically saved this because I think this recommendation is going to be helpful for a handful of reasons. Number one, it's an exceptional fragrance. Number two, it's discontinued. So of course, you're going to be looking not just for an upgrade, but an alternative, and you don't want to downgrade, right? You don't want to get a clone that might be inexpensive, but it's only a weaker, adulterated version of the original. Of course, I'm talking about Gucci Rush by Gucci. I got in right before the discontinuation. I bought my bottle online. I'm so happy that I paid a fair price for it because now I see the price has skyrocketed. Unfortunately, this is a beautiful peach, apricot, and floral type of a fragrance, but it's very strong, right? So this is a very outgoing sort of a look at me type of a perfume, right? Anybody who's wearing it, they're not doing it because they're shy or timid. They're doing it because they know they're going to get the looks, they're going to get the attention. And of course, this is a phenomenal fragrance. And you know, I've met many women throughout the years who have worn this fragrance, and I can tell you in the air, it always smells divine. Well, if you want the niche alternative to that, high quality raw materials, smells expensive, smells so classy, so elegant, so remarkably well put together. And this is such a beautiful fragrance. I'm glad I finally acquired it. From the brand Clive Christian, this is called X. Please, please, please sample it at ScentSplit if you haven't already done so. X is fantastic. So there you have it. Do you want me to do a part 2 to this video? Is there any interest in me doing that? Or do you want me to focus on a specific brand? Or do you want me to do it on a specific fragrance? Drop your comment down below. I always love reading the interaction. And of course, if you took anything of value from today's episode, I would really appreciate it if you would consider supporting the channel by clicking subscribe, hitting the bell, and giving this video a thumbs up. It would really mean a lot to me. Thanks again for watching. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.